I invite you to my lab and you just kick things around. Black Panther, mate. My gosh, Wakanda forever. Hey beautiful you, it's TC. Welcome to today's school class. Take a seat, take note, but most importantly, no talking because I will give you a detention. Okay. So today, as it says in the title, we are going to be talking about life lessons from Black Panther. This wasn't just about bringing out a superhero film with black people, but it's a celebration of culture. It's about making history. It's about creating legacy. It's about redefining the status of black people in society. It's about breaking political boundaries and barriers and just making a stand for black excellence. Yes, 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 I will have that tea. Sip it. Now, what can we learn from such a work of art? Now, for anyone that knows me, representation is probably a topic that I harp on about quite a lot, especially since I work in media. Representation is so important. Over the years, the identity of black people in the media have often been misconstrued, and they really portray images that demonize the way that we see ourselves and the way the world see us. But seeing black people portrayed in this film as strong and resilient and powerful and self-sustaining really hits home to me that there is room for everyone. And personally, I can no longer identify with a society that tells me that only one race of people can be superior and more successful than everyone else. We witness black people as superheroes killing it. Queens, kings, royalty, scientists, innovators, presidents, just overall in positions of leadership, in positions of authority, and in positions of influential power. Now, from children right the way up to adults, these images are really powerful in reshaping, molding, and redefining what it means to be a black person in 2018. These images show me that I am not a slave, I am not poor, I'm not unintelligent, I don't need to rely on handouts, I'm not a sheep, and I'm not born to blend in but shine. Sisters, yes! This film encapsulated us well, and as they say, behind every good man is a, y'all know. In both past and present, black women have dealt with and still deal with what we call the black superwoman syndrome, which is the strength and fortitude that black women display when faced with personal and societal challenges. Now, according to studies, this obligates black women to manifest strength, to suppress emotions, to resist being vulnerable or dependent, determined to succeed despite limited resources, and help others. I believe that Black Panther really brought balance to the portrayal of black women, especially for the characters of Nakia and Koye. Like, when ish hit the fan, they were ready to die for Wakanda in battle. But for example, when they thought T'Challa was dead, you really saw how vulnerable and emotional they came. And for me, it just showed that as strong as black women are, they still have feelings, and we cry too, and it's okay. You also see how their strength is demonstrated through their sisterhood and through their loyalty to Wakanda. Like when Killmonger tried to attack, they stood together. Ride or die, fight together, ride together, we die together, Wakanda forever. Shuri was probably one of my favourite characters. I invite you to my lab and you just kick things around. Her character and the great revolutionary scientist that she portrayed was definitely a black girls can moment for me. And I know that the stats genuinely for women across STEM fields are low, but particularly for black women, they are underrepresented. So to see this type of character was beyond powerful. What I love about Shuri is that she was this kick-ass, woke, not your average princess who made learning, education and discovery look so cool. I mean, even I was like, I want to be a scientist. And what you really learn is that intelligence is no respecter of style. You can change the world by wearing blue lipstick and braids. It's okay. With knowledge, the Wakandans were able to build and live in this self-sustaining world that didn't require them to rely on anyone else. And it was a beautiful image to see, and it kind of reminded me of 1920s America, where they had Black Wall Street and black people were able to live self-sustainingly. They were able to build their own banks, their own contemporary homes, their own movie theatres, and create entrepreneurial opportunities for themselves. Shuri oversees all technology operations, including new designs, and personally for me this was aspirational to see someone who looks like me using her cultural knowledge and skills and merging them together to create innovative science and completely change the universe as we know it. It's just like mad. I love how unapologetically black this film is. It takes us back to Africa. I personally feel like I went home to my motherland and I didn't want to leave. Culture, heritage, native language and traditions, they make us who we are as unique individuals, and it's important that wherever you go in this world, you do not become ashamed of who you are or where you come from. There's nothing worse than living in a society where you have no sense of identity, and our culture always brings us back to that. I remember reading about an interview that Lupita Nyong'o did with Vogue, and she talked about Black Panther fostering a mainstream cultural consciousness. Wakanda is a society completely untouched by Western traditions, which means that they were able to live in their own culture without judgment or the pressure to adapt or conform to make everyone else feel comfortable around them. For me, this demonstrated true cultural freedom, and it also showed me that culture is not just about what you wear or what you look like, it's who you are, it's ingrained in your history, and it's also not just something that other people can just pick up and appropriate when they just fancy trying another culture for a day. Like, these are people's livelihoods. I just loved hearing the African mother tongue and seeing all the representations of traditional outfits and their hairstyles and all the traditional prints. Like, everything to me was just them in their self-loving glory, and it was just, I think as an African Caribbean woman growing up in today's society, it was a real eye-opener for me to visually see how far away we've come from our culture because of integration. But as my boyfriend pointed out to me, when people integrate, they tend to lose a sense of identity to try and fit or blend in. But true integration still allows for equal opportunities while still allowing people to have the freedom to be true to who they are. Now, what's great about this particular Marvel film is that a lot of people walked out of the screening kind of conflicted and confused because they didn't know whose side to actually take. But even when I was talking with my sister, like we said, we actually understood and could see both perspectives of Killmonger and T'Challa, and neither of them were actually wrong. Killmonger is supposed to represent the villain, and although his methods are extreme, he is someone who has lived and understands the African American struggle and is now exercising his privilege of being the king of Wakanda with access to resources to do something about it. Whereas T'Challa has been used to living in an isolated nation, and he has enjoyed the advantages and privileges that many people around the world who look like him do not. And although he really wants to protect this nation, he still falls into the line of ignoring the everyday struggles that they go through. But he then comes to the realization that he doesn't want to be like his dad and leave those people behind. The lesson in this is that just because something isn't directly affecting you, it doesn't make it non-existent. It just means that you have the privilege to avoid it. But as we saw, avoidance didn't stop T'Challa's father from being killed, and it didn't stop some of the Wakandan people from seeking revenge on those who had come into their country to attack them. Killmonger had one of the best lines in the film for me, and it was, "Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors who jumped from ships because they knew that death was better than bondage." This spoke true of the bondage that some black people still face today, mentally, physically and emotionally. And the only way that T'Challa could save Wakanda and the future of it was to exercise his privilege to fight the injustices that his people still face elsewhere in the world. Thanks for watching this video. If you really liked it, please give it a massive thumbs up. Obviously, I want to hear from you as well. So if you have a comment, please drop it below and also let me know what you think. Do you think that Black Panther has taught you some valuable life lessons? Let me know and I will respond. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please reevaluate your life. I'm joking, but please subscribe. And I think that's it. Stay blessed and keep it natural.